You got challenges that you're going to run across.
I said, what are you talking about lying? This is about the second hour. I'm sitting there trying to get through customs. He pulls up on the computer where in 1985, I bounced a check. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you didn't tell me about this. I'm like, I don't even remember that, man. It was a $20 check to CVS or something. And that's still in the records. And he said that I lied to him. So I stayed there another hour before he even let me go, through customs, man. It was crazy. When you mentioned Canada, I'm thinking, dang.
Yeah. And I seen some other dark-skinned brothers over there in that little room, and I'm pretty sure all of them was getting turned around too. But they didn't ask me all. They didn't ask me all them questions because I guess once they ran and they already saw, ain't no sense us asking though. But yeah, they came back and said, "Well, we denied you interest into Canada." So I had to jump right back on the plane and go right back. So I saw the inside of the airport in Toronto, and that was it. But when you talk about places with the most pushback, Paris was probably the place with the most pushback.
Yeah, I'm agree with you on that too.
Paris.
I told my wife, I said, now I'm gonna chalk this up to some of me not trying to learn the language before I went over there because I didn't know anything.
I said,
I should have learned a little bit, but they are so arrogant and they think that we are arrogant, so they treat you that way. All the restaurants and all that taxi cab driver, man, one of the taxi cab drivers took us down to the red light district. And I'm like, man, there's no way we told you that. We know, he tried to drop us off. No, take us back to our spot. But I chalked a lot of it up on me too, but they're pretty arrogant. I love Paris to the sightseeing. I love to just walk around, see everything in Paris. But the people.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I said I'm gonna give it another try. Because I used to feel like that about LA. I didn't like LA at first, and now I love LA. So I always say LA
we spent all this money on this Eiffel Tower dinner that when we finally got up there and waited in a long line, man, the Eiffel Tower is kind of like, a ride at Six Flags. I mean, it's not like the way they made it seem like it's gonna be this lovely dinner, candlelight dinner, and we put all this on our American Express card and we get up there and it was just like a tourist site. I mean, tourist place. It wasn't this little, and we wound up getting our money back because we were so pissed coming back from that. But the long line trying to get there. So, Paris is kind of like that also. All right. So we got 6 minutes left. I'm gonna let you answer this last one and we're gonna wrap it up. But here's a question. What do you think is gonna take for us to have this mindset shift that we need? I mean, I know we all need it now, but what is it going to take for us to get it?
I think it's going to take, bro, collaboration and unity for us to be conscious about lifting one another up, and not have a mentality, especially if somebody's been successful, not having a mentality of, well, I got mine, you got to get yours. And I think we got to do a better job of reaching back, especially Black men that are more successful, reaching back to young cats. And everybody talk about social media, and social media influences their mind because they have nothing else to look to. But I guarantee you, if they watch social media and you get them a successful Black man to talk to them, show them that he got the same things, or you can acquire it this way, then they know they have options now. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, they don't even realize that, being a successful Black man by starting your own business, unless it's somebody doing something on Instagram, that is not possible. And they gotta know, and they gotta hear these stories that it's okay not to get it right away. So if you talk to enough older guys and successful guys and say, man, it took me 10 years before I really did this. And then he talked to another one and he said, man, it took me 8 years. And then it talked to another, oh man, it was 12 years before now they understand that this instant gratification stuff, is basically not a reality.
Right.
Like that's social media, but you got to give them both sides. So I think we got to do a better job of feeding our young people, man. We got to do a better job because people talk about young people, but be honest with you, if you talk to adults, son, I know you deal with a lot of them want instant gratification.
Yep.
A lot of them basically don't do this and don't read and don't do these things.
Right.
So
Right.
and you're supposed to know better. So I always say when you are adult and you're supposed to know better, what you think a young person gonna do or think.
Yep.
So exposure is the key, man. And for us to be progressive, we gotta expose our young people to more things, to different things, and let them know that it's possible, not being an athlete, not getting quick dollars, not being a rapper, and not all your money gonna come, right away.
Man, I appreciate you, B. From talking to you, man, I believe we need to do this maybe once a month and once every 2 months where we can just talk about things, man, and get this thing out here for people to really hear it. But I got one last question to leave you with, and I need to know the answer, and I need to know why.
Okay.
Who's the GOAT, Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron. But know what? But let me tell you this. Know what I found out? I just looked at it and it's errors. And I was talking with Abe today about this. I just think LeBron, because I always say, look at Jordan years 12 through 20. He was garbage.
No, it ain't no garbage, man. Stop that. You can't put that term garbage with Jordan. Y'all throw that word around like it ain't nothing.
12 through 20. And I say that to say he wasn't even, like, his last 3 years up to 15, he wasn't really that good. And then the last 15 to 20, he wasn't even playing. If you look at what LeBron has done at the level he's done for the last 8 years and still being nominated for a scoring title, a possible MVP, all of those things, still being talked about as a top 5 player in his 20th year, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So I think he's the best. And I always say this, Jordan is the best scorer ever. Mm-hmm. LeBron is the best all-around player. So the reason why I say that is because I think he has more facets to his game. And we want to compare Jordan's mentality as far as being a killer. Everybody's not a killer. That means that me and ET can speak to an audience and get the same result from the audience. But ET is always on 10. I talk with more passion and a little more subtle. Right. But we achieve the same goals.
Exactly.
So LeBron is not going to be an assassin because he wants everybody to win. And I just think that you could put Jordan on LeBron teams and Jordan wouldn't succeed as much as LeBron did because LeBron teams had to have a player that got everybody involved. But you can put LeBron on Jordan teams and they would have still won.
Bruh. For the fresh shot clock. MJ. Oh, he did it!
People always debated, who's the greatest player of all time? Dumb question. It should be, who's the greatest team of all time? There are so many teams to choose from. The 91 Chicago Bulls, sorry Showtime. The 92 Bulls, back-to-back. 93 Bulls, first three-peat. 97 Bulls, even with the flu. 98 Bulls, no push-off. And my favorite, the 96 Chicago Bulls. 72 wins, tough to beat that. What? You think there's someone else? Prove it.
Valerie, I want you to cut off this last 4 minutes of him. if he ain't saying Jordan, we ain't gonna put this out, all right? So
and Jordan is my player. Jordan is my man.
All right, B, man, I appreciate you, man. We got a lot of stuff we're gonna put out, man. And
all
again,
right, brother.
I'm gonna hit you back probably a month and a half or something, and we just talk about other stuff, man. All right.
All right. No doubt,
appreciate
man.
it.
I thank y'all. I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, man.
All right.
We go.
Good night.
All right. Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the all button and all that kind of stuff because we're going to have a lot of good interviews on this podcast.